I once almost got eaten by a cheetah in Oklahoma. I'm not sure if anybody understands this, but cheetahs are not indigenous to Oklahoma, or the United States, or North America, or even in the entire Western fucking hemisphere. I was 19 years old, and I got arrested for possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia, because I was 19 years old and I was having a lot of fun. So when I had to go to court, the judge gave me 40 hours of community service and a 1-year deferred sentence. I was able to choose where I wanted to do my community service. Well, one was over at the state fair. You've never been to the state fair of Oklahoma? Don't. It rains at the state fair. It always rains. Always. It always rains at the state fair of Oklahoma. I'm not about to get pneumonia just because I'm trying to knock out 40 hours of community service. I'm not going to have that happen. Instead, I chose to do my 40 hours over at the Oklahoma City Zoo. So my first day, I wound up going to the pachyderm building, which is where the rhinos, the giraffes, elephants, and I know you're about to say giraffe is not a pachyderm. I agree, it's not, but they are in the pachyderm building because it's the Oklahoma City Zoo. Meet up with this guy that's running the building, and he says, go ahead and put on these rain boots, grab yourself a wheelbarrow, and get yourself a snow shovel. Follow him over into the rhino pen, and he points over to the corner and says, there you go. And there over in the corner is a big huge pile of rhino crap. Here's the thing. We've all seen Jurassic Park, I'm assuming. We've seen that scene where Laura Dern's character is looking through that big huge pile of Triceratops crap. Well, that's a movie, and dinosaurs are extinct. This pile of crap that I'm looking at over in the corner of the rhino pen, that's real. You don't seem to appreciate how much shit how much mass crap can have until you're shoveling it out and putting it in a wheelbarrow by using a snow shovel. Did that, then we went to the elephant pen, the giraffes, all of that. Or the next time that I work there, I'm doing trash detail. Next time that I'm doing out there, I'm helping direct cars in the parking lot. And I kind of got a good positive reputation because I didn't complain, I wouldn't gripe or bitch or anything like that. That kind of reputation kind of went up the ladder to the point where the director of operations, and finally one morning I came in and he said, okay, today you're going to be going to work over at the commissary. The commissary is the area where they prepare the food for all the animals in the zoo. And I met up with this woman, and she said, you're gonna help prepare these platters. You go by this little sheet, like how much ounces of this kind of bird seed or anything, like for the Burmese python, 1 cold dead rat, slap them over on the platter, done. When we got done with that, she had it all stacked up over on the back of this golf cart, and she said, okay, we're gonna go feed them now. And that excited me because I'm thinking, oh my God, you mean we get to feed these things? This is awesome. We got through, and we went through the entire zoo, from the reptile house to the pachyderm building to the bears, everything. And finally made it to the big cats. We're feeding the tigers, feeding lions. We finally get to the cheetah pen. And there were 2 cheetahs at the time. They were in separate pens, but they had like a chain link fence that kind of separated the pens. You get behind the exhibit, and that's where we were supposed to be walking in, and she said she'd gotten a call over on her walkie. I've got to go back to the commissary. All you have to do is unlock these cages. You take the food. Don't break eye contact with him. Slide the food in, back away, close the door. And as I said, I'd gotten a reputation where I did what I was told. The only good kind of worker is a quiet worker. Shut up and do your job. So I look over on the name of the first animal, and it goes by the name of Delilah. And I thought, okay, Delilah, that's a pretty name. Open the cage, go in. There's Delilah at the very other end of the pen, and she's sitting on this little picnic bench. I take it, slide the platter in, back up, close the pen, no big deal, right? Next one, I look up and the name says Checkers. I was like, oh, okay. I guess they could have gone with Chester, but I guess they didn't want to get sued by the Cheetah company. Take the platter, go in, walking in, getting ready to slide it in, and that's when I hear this little tiny little mousy voice going, "Hey, mister. I look over, and there's these third graders. They're on a field trip from school. "Are you going to feed that animal?" I said, "Yes, I am. That's what I'm doing." "What do you know about cheetahs?" When I was younger, I bought a lot of zoo books. So I know a little bit about cheetahs. So I start talking to them. I was like, well, cheetahs, they can live up to about 17 years. They're the fastest mammal on Earth. They can go up to 60 to 70 miles an hour, and they use that speed in order to hunt down their prey. Does this one have a name? Sure does. His name is Checkers. So I'm like sliding the platter down, and that's when one of the kids says, "Can't you feed him by hand?" Quick recall here. I'm 19 years old. I got busted because I'm a pothead. I am now in a pen with a predator that doesn't have to use his 60 to 70 mile an hour speed, because I'm fat now. I was fat back then too. If I tried to run, he wouldn't even have to run after me. He'd probably just trot. I was like, wow, this is the easiest catch that I've ever made in all my life. I don't know why, but I decided I need to impress a group of 8-year-olds or 9-year-olds. I had to impress a group of third graders. I went and grabbed up a piece of meat off of his platter, and he's sitting there on the bench just as Delilah was. He's sitting over on his bench, and I start slowly walking towards him. Now this made him do one of these, as if to say, what the hell is going on here? This is a new one for me. And I've got my arms stretched out like, and walking towards him. This makes him like slowly come down his bench, because this is a new experience for him too. We wind up kind of meeting in the middle, and he slowly, and slowly takes the meat out of my hand, and then walks back over to the bench. And all the kids go, whoa! Even their adult chaperone was standing there like impressed, and she was really pretty too. So I'm thinking like, maybe I could score out with a hot mom, if I keep feeding these kids, if I keep feeding this cheetah. But like, they were all amazed. Like, all of a sudden I am a hero, They said, do it again. And so I thought, okay, I already did it the first time. What could possibly go wrong the second? So I walk back with my back turned back to the platter, pick up another piece of meat, turn back around, and start walking toward it. Me and Checkers are like this now, man. I think his way of thinking was, okay, you got away with it the first time. There's not going to be a part 2 to this. That's all there is to it. Because the second time that I started going up to him, he kind of lowered his head down, his ears pinned back, he let out a slow growl, came off of the bench, and he casually came up to me, and this time I'm using my right hand, and I hand it out to him, and the moment that I put my hand out, he took it as an aggressive move, and with his right paw swiped at me. Dropped the piece of meat, he grabbed the piece of meat, went back to the bench, and I'm looking over at my hand. Now, in my hand is nothing but a pool of blood from the meat. But mixed within that is some blood from my hand, because he sliced the side of my hand. And to this day, and I don't know if I'd be able to show this to you, but maybe if I brighten it a little. Let me brighten it a little. And I don't know if you'd be able to see this, but right here is this little cut. And that's what happened to me. And I still have this scar to remind me of how stupid I was when I was 19 years old. And I see this, and I feel some sharp pain because it's from the cut. Now, the cut wasn't really that bad. I didn't need stitches or anything. They put a couple of butterfly, adhesive strips on it, and I was fine. But at that time, in my head, all I could think was, and I yelled it out, "Oh my God, Checkers got me." And the kids started clapping. They thought it was the funniest damn thing ever. And it was like over dramatic because I'm 19 years old at the time. Like, "Oh my God, Checkers got me." And the kids started cheering. And that's when I realized that these little assholes cared nothing about my welfare. They didn't care about me feeding the cat. They didn't care about me getting scratched. They wanted to see some excitement. I don't know why. I started hobbling back. I'm not injured except for my hand. Has nothing to do with my legs. It's not like I got bad knees or anything, but I start hobbling like Quasimodo back all the way to the gate of the pen. Well, this makes Checkers give chase. And by give chase, that's loosely based because, like I said, he wouldn't have to use any of his energy. He just trotted. And I get to the gate, open up the gate door, and I tried to get out, and I couldn't get out because something was tugging over at my leg. And when I looked back, there's Checkers, and he's got his claw into the sole of my shoe, and the claws have sunken in. And so I freak out even more, like, "Oh my God, no," because I'm thinking this is how it's going to end for Mike Sargent. This is how it's really going to end, is my fat ass gets chewed up and eaten by a cheetah at the Oklahoma City Zoo. I'm going to be the very first casualty ever. And I'm able to loosen my foot out of my shoe. I lunge. Again, I don't know why. I lunge out the gate door, slam the gate shut with my foot. Oh, I'm an idiot. The woman that was helping me, she comes up, she says, "Okay, did you feed him?" And I said, "Yeah." And she sees the blood dripping, and she goes, "What the hell happened to you?" And she looks down, she's like, "Where's your shoe?" And she looks over in the pins and then sees Checkers, and there he is using my shoe as his new chew toy. And she goes, "What in the hell happened?" I sheepishly had to tell her what I did, and she looked at me and she goes, "What are you, fucking retarded?" I just, "I think so." And so she takes me to a first aid station, helps me clean my wound, which, like I said, came up to 2 butterfly strips, and that was it, and takes me to the director of operations. Director's got this smile on his face because I had a good reputation up to that point. "How are you liking the commissary? Is everything working all right? Everything doing well? And what happened to your shoe?" And so the woman wound up telling him what happened, and he goes, "Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking retarded?" To which I sheepishly said, "I think so." And so he sent me home. I had to go home. I had to get my mom to buy me a new pair of shoes because I didn't have any money. So we wound up going to Payless, going to get another cheap pair of shoes. Following week that I was working there, everybody that worked in community service were relegated to cleaning trash, cleaning out the trash liners, changing out trash liners in the trash cans, and directing traffic over in the parking lot. And that's all they're able to do after that. Which just goes to show the moral of the story really does hold true, that one person really can make a difference.